Here is your long, smooth-paced, emotional YouTube-style story with a strong hook, viewer engagement line, and 40-minute pacing feel, written in plain paragraphs, no headings. Before you judge someone by their uniform, wait until you hear what this janitor did, the narrator's voice whispered, pulling the viewers right to the edge. Because in the next 3 minutes, he was about to fix a $100 million disaster the entire company failed to solve for months, and what the CEO did next stunned everyone. If you're watching this now, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Stories like this are made to remind you that heroes often come from the places you least expect. Daniel Kahn had been a single dad for 5 years, and he had learned 2 things. Heartbreak doesn't last forever, but responsibility does. Every morning at 4:30 a.m., he walked into the towering silver building of One V-Zone Corporation with a mop in one hand and a silent prayer in his heart that he wouldn't be late picking up his daughter, Amaya, from school again. The company was a world-renowned tech giant, famous for its sleek products and flawless systems, but behind the polished floors Daniel cleaned every day, something big was falling apart. Onvison's newest product, the company's most expensive project ever, expected to generate over $100 million in its first year, had a critical glitch. Engineers had tried everything. Meetings piled on meetings. The deadline was slipping away. Investors were threatening to pull out. Half the staff whispered about mass layoffs. And the CEO, Eleanor Hart, a woman known for her ice-cold resolve, was close to shutting the entire division down. Daniel didn't know all the details. He just heard the stress in people's voices as he swept the halls at night. But one thing bothered him. Every engineer kept repeating the same line: the system won't sync the secondary data core. It rejects every command. Daniel had worked as a technician before life shattered. Before the accident. Before he lost his wife. Before he was forced to choose between taking care of a newborn baby or keeping a job that demanded his full time. He chose Amaya. And he never regretted it. But sometimes, when he walked past the glass-walled labs and saw the engineers huddled around glowing screens, something inside him flickered, a piece of his old self, a version that once dreamed big. One evening, as Daniel replaced a trash bin outside the main control lab, he overheard 2 lead engineers arguing. "This is impossible," one muttered. "We need to wipe the system and start over. That's another 4 months. 4 months. Eleanor will fire us before sunrise," the other snapped. Daniel stood still. Their frustration echoed too painfully inside him, the helplessness he once felt when doctors told him his wife wouldn't survive childbirth. Problems that feel impossible, he knew what those felt like. He hesitated, then gently knocked on the open glass door. Excuse me," he said, nervously gripping his mop. "Sorry if I'm out of place, but, did you say the system rejects the secondary core syncing?" Both engineers turned, annoyed. "Yeah. Why?" Daniel swallowed. "Did you try bypassing the sync request and forcing a direct handshake with the main kernel? If the secondary core sees it as an independent host instead of a subordinate, the software might accept it." The room fell silent. One engineer laughed lightly, thinking he was joking. "Yeah, that's cute. But this system is too advanced for that sort of trick." The other one frowned. Actually, his eyes narrowed. "That could work, if the bug is coming from the old firmware component." Daniel stepped back. "I'm sorry. Forget I said anything. I'll get back to cleaning." But the second engineer suddenly rushed to his monitor, typed something rapidly, and froze. For 3 full seconds, nobody breathed. Then, "Oh my God, it accepted the handshake," he whispered. It worked. The first engineer pushed Daniel's mop aside and ran to look. "No way. No way, are you kidding me?" Within minutes, alarms, screams, shouts, and running footsteps filled the lab, not of panic, but celebration. They had been stuck for months. They had burned millions. They were losing their minds. And a janitor, fixed the issue in seconds. The news spread like wildfire. By morning, the entire company was buzzing. Who was he? How did he know? Was it luck? Was he some hidden genius pretending to mop floors? Employees who never looked at him twice now whispered his name. Daniel just kept his head low. He wasn't trying to prove anything. He just wanted to finish his shift and get to his daughter. But then Eleanor Hart called him to her office. Her office was a palace compared to the storage closet Daniel used as his break room. Glass walls, high ceilings, Shelves of awards. And in the center, the CEO herself, staring at him with unreadable eyes. Sit, she ordered softly. Daniel sat, nervous. Do you realize, she began, slowly, that your suggestion just saved this company from losing $100 million? Daniel blinked. Ma'am, I didn't mean to interfere. I was only trying to help. Help, she repeated, leaning forward. Daniel, you accomplished what 27 top engineers couldn't do in 3 months. He didn't know what to say. He just clutched the strap of his old bag, the one his daughter decorated with stickers.